you're just like, I'm so hungry and I'm willing to sacrifice to stay competitive. And you were telling me that most people aren't willing to stay competitive for a long time. And that's what's really, I've seen and admired about you, is how you're able to buy, the Houston Rockets, how you're able to do these big projects and buy these things because you're so competitive consistently over decades, where most people go in for 3 to 5 years, something doesn't work out, and then they stop their competitive edge. So how do you keep that edge?
It's really interesting because I did an interview yesterday with somebody who's really popular right now, and they're very young, and yet they said they already have those valleys where they went into a funk, like they were burnt out.
Right, after like 2 years of working hard or something.
Yeah. And I just said, what's funny is I've never had a burnout ever. I've been going like this for a long time.
Decades.
35, 40 years.
Wow.
Even. I mean, I started going at it in my teens hard, and I never had that burnout. And I think that's kind of a state of mind that if you're going to get burnt out if you want to get burnt out. But I always was going like this, and so I just kind of felt like I'm so fortunate to have it going. Why should I ever let the momentum go the other way? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, one of my great sayings is there's positive people and negative people. And when you're with a negative person or you're with a positive person, one of two things is going to happen. The negative person is going to make the positive person negative, or you're going to take the negative person and make them positive. So I've always paid attention to who I've always been around also. And I never wanted to be around people that didn't want to achieve.
Right.
But I've never even come close to saying, I'm done, I'm burnt out, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right. How do you spot the people who are truly wanting to achieve and who have that positive energy? Because sometimes you could bring people on your team and they could have that in the beginning, but they could kind of lose that, or they could spin off a negative cycle. Are you very loyal to the people that you have in your companies? You give them multiple chances, or is it like, okay, enough is enough, like cutthroat?
What a great question that is, because I even list a bunch of people at the front of this book who really helped make me become who I am. Because even though I'm the leader, I'm the bull, you are dependent on people when you build a company my size of 60,000 people.
That's it? And pretty small, right?
and I truly probably have 25 vice presidents that average 25 years.
Wow.
Okay, I tease my people about this all the time.
Wow.
I go, I never, ever in the last 35 years have probably lost direct answers to me, maybe 1 or 2 people. And so why are y'all losing them every year?
Right.
And so when people ask me what are you most proud of, and I think it's the people that truly deal with me on a day-to-day basis. Even my assistants, I have one for 27 years and I'm one for 26 years.
Wow.
That truly grew up with me, that were young girls. Or not young girls.
Right.
And I think it is, if they'd tell you, they'd say, that's the hardest son of a bitch to work for in the world, but I would not work for anybody else.
Wow.
I think that's what they would all tell you.
I mean, in a world where it seems like everyone wants to change jobs every year or two because they want something new and exciting, how do you cultivate that culture or environment where they're like still excited every year? Is it because you're acquiring new companies all the time?
I think that's part of it, is that they know that we're the bull, and that even in tough times, if I call them into my boardroom, it's not, hey, we're getting bought out. It's, who are we buying? Because we eat the weak in bad times. So, I think it's leadership, respect. It's knowing that that we're the bull out there in our industries. And
for those who don't know what you mean by the bull, who haven't read the book, what does that mean to be the bull?
Just, you're the ones always that everybody else is worried about. We bought a couple of companies in the last week.
Right.
And it's because we were opportunists, and we're the ones who can always deliver.
Wow.
And we're the ones who have the funding, the due diligence to do it quickly. We outwork people. A lawyer of mine who handles all the M&A, he was at the office from 9 a.m. Sunday a week ago till Monday night at 9 p.m., 36 straight hours getting a deal done. Okay, it's just a culture of we are the best. and not that there's not great companies out there, and we're just still in the whole world, a company.
Right.
But and what we do and doing mergers and acquisitions in the restaurant business or gaming business or whatever, aquariums, amusement parks. Mm-hmm. But we outworked everybody to get the Houston Rockets. I mean, my team during Hurricane Harvey, when everybody was flooding, was still at the office trying to get that contract signed because we wanted it done by Monday of Labor Day. And
during the big flood in Houston, is that
100%. And
wow.
But the Houston Rockets went on the market on July 17th, and we signed the deal up on September the 5th. For the most money ever paid for a professional sports team.
Now,
and so it's just saying we're going to get it done before anybody else can.
Now, why pay the most premium? Why not try to create the win-win, get the best deal for yourself? Why say I'm going to overpay? Maybe it's not an overpay in your mind, but why do that? And when everyone's telling you, maybe that's a little too much,
Because I listen. I listen, and I'm going to tell you what I heard. I heard from some very, very smart people, and this is one of the reasons that the book's titled "Shut Up and Listen" is because I do listen, and I had some really smart people who know a lot of people who went after sports franchises say they quit too soon. It's the biggest regret they ever had.
Meaning they sold the business?
No. They went after, say, the LA Clippers. They went after the Golden State Warriors. They went after and people that could afford to do it. And they just said, I'm not going to pay that extra $100 million or $200 million or whatever. And then they had to go buy a team in the years to come somewher else, not in their hometown,
right. Or a minor league team pay more, or something,
whatever. And so I was told there's never been a team sell for less in sports, and it's just a mistake you don't make. And so I listened to people and said, you could regret this. And it's kind of funny, but I already knew I was not going to lose, okay? I was not going to lose this opportunity. And when other people, I even had the Tad Brown, who I've known for years, who runs the business side of the team even today, call me at one point and said, y'all aren't in the room kicking tires like some of the other people. Are you losing interest? I said, no, Tad, I haven't lost interest at all. I said, everybody else is in there trying to justify how do you pay $2 billion, because they made it really clear that they wouldn't sell it for under $2 billion.
Wow.
They're all trying to figure out how you pay that for it. I was out there making sure I could raise the money. And so
I like that.
And no, seriously, because
you weren't even thinking. You said, "I'm going."
Right. Yeah. I knew that the team on a bad year is going to make $40 million, and on a good year is going to make $90 million. Okay, I knew that. Okay, and I'd known Tad for 15 years. But if you start trying to say, okay, if it makes $40 million or it makes $80 million, do you pay $1.9 billion or $1.8 billion or $2.2 billion? It has nothing to do with it. Okay. Okay, and so while everybody else and was doing due diligence that way, even people that have a lot more money than me, okay, they're trying to get there and they missed the box. Okay, they were looking at the wrong thing instead of realizing this is a 10-year play. And I can promise you one thing: I bought this team in 2016. Yep. In 2026, it'll be worth $3 billion.
Really?
Okay. Yes. Okay. It's already moved up in value. So it's just the feel and knowing what to do and not getting caught up in the due diligence that doesn't matter. And I think one of the reasons I've been successful is because nobody does due diligence on an acquisition more than my team does. But it's just don't get caught up in the things that don't matter. Like price of a few $100 million. and you know what's so funny? And then you know how I got their attention? Everybody else wrote letters. They said, okay, we want everybody's letter of intent today. Everybody had all kind of ins and all the potential buyers. Everybody had all kind of ins and outs and everything. And you know what I did? I said, I'm going to put up $100 million non-refundable.
I love that.
No financing contingency, no NBA approval contingency. And if something happens, I'll walk away and lose it. Okay, so that
with the
ground
previous
there,
owner.
yeah, with the previous owner, yeah.
Wow. No one else was willing to do that.
Nobody else will do that.
And you were
But
willing
that's the second time I've done that, and it worked for me, because my great casino in Lake Charles, right outside of Houston, I did the same thing.
50 million, right? Or 40 million?
50 million,
Yeah,
50 million, yeah. So
That's
it's worked for me
amazing.
twice. I hope I have the opportunity to do it again. That is something I want that bad.
What is the things that people should be looking at? You mentioned people are looking at the wrong things. They're thinking about the price or the other things. What should they be thinking about if they want to acquire something? Whether you're a small business owner that wants to acquire something for $100,000, or you're, a billionaire like yourself trying to acquire something for $2.2 billion. What is the thing they look for?
Well, if it's something that you really, really want and you can afford it and it doesn't really matter, you should just go get it. Okay.
Why? Is that for the peace of mind?
Just for the peace of mind, and so you never regret it. Okay. I can go back 20, 25 years ago, and I've been asked this the last few days. I had a chance to buy this unbelievable car collection about 25 years ago that had great muscle cars right when they were, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I was really buying it at a bargain because the father had died, the son was selling it, didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
And I lost a deal over a couple $100,000 that today, if I owned that, I would just walk in there and say, this is mine.
Yeah.
I just love it. And I learned a lesson. And 25 years later, that's the one deal that comes back and haunts me because I negotiated a little bit too hard for something that really mattered. Now, now let's look at in a box of a real business deal. You can't get caught up emotionally. There's always another deal. And I walk away from deals all the time.
Really?
All the time. Because there's always another deal. But you know what? There's only so many great car collections. There's only one NBA team in your own hometown, okay?
Right.
And so there's certain things you don't worry about.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to be smart and say, there's always another casino to buy or another restaurant company to buy, but keep it right. Know what's in the box and know what's out of the box.
I'm glad you said that because I acquired something a couple years ago that I did this move without knowing I was doing a Tilman move. Greatness.com was available, and it was probably overpriced.
What was it?
Greatness.com.
Okay.
In my space, there's only one word for domain, and my word is greatness with the School of Greatness podcast.
Sure.
And I wanted to build something bigger than just this show. I wanted to build a media engine around this word that every athlete uses. When I see them talking about it on social media and press conferences, all the brands talk about it in their slogans.
Greatness.
Built for greatness, pursuit of greatness.
I love that.
I was just like, I want to own this word. I don't want anyone else to have the word. I want to own it. And there's only one domain in the world. It's like a franchise of one. And I was just like, I want that.
And were you able to get it?
I bought it, yeah.
I know, but I'm surprised you could get it trademarked because it's a word.
I don't have a trademark, just the domain.
Okay, just the domain
yeah, so
for
I can build
a podcast or something.
For anything I want to build on it. For my media engine, for content, for all that stuff. My books, everything that I have, I can build around that word. But and I haven't used it yet. I just have it. It just redirects to my personal site because I want to build it the right way. But for me, it gives me peace of mind that no one else can build something and confuse my audience.
No, because it's such a strong word.
Strong.
And it's something that we all are after every day.
Right.
The people who want to be.
Exactly.
Okay.
Your habits provide evidence of your desired identity. And I think that is probably the ultimate reason that habits are so important. It's true, like habits can help you earn more money or be more productive or lose weight. And all that stuff is great. But in addition to the external results that habits provide, they also shape your sense of self.